Greetings all. Doing this video just as an update from the information that I've been reading so far. It's not official, but it looks like Sony's going to be releasing the next PlayStation coming out, whatever the successor will be to PlayStation 3. Right now they have codename Orbis. From the information that I'm getting here, backwards compatibility is going to be gone. So PS3 games will be completely out. What was it? It's also going to be producing higher end graphics, which isn't really a surprise, but they're going to call it, in a sense, 4K. Not too familiar with that myself, but from what I was reading on there, it's dealing with the maximum resolution on here, which I believe was 4096 by 21 something. 4096 by 2160. So pretty much it gives you the ability to play 3D games in highest end quality, where 1080p, where before it could only do 3D at the maximum of 720. So I mean, that's somewhat of a difference, but obviously you have to have a 3D TV for that, so really not going to be that much of a difference. And the other interesting thing, which as I said before, none of this is official, but if it is true, it's going to be very interesting how they do this. Is that they are saying that used games will be content restricted. Now, if you're not familiar with how everything works, a lot of cases with cartridges, you have a writable aspect in there, so you can actually control things on the game itself. So it's pretty much gives you the ability to restrict people from doing certain things. With discs, though, mainly for games, it's a write once complete. That's it. Really, there's nothing you can do to prevent people from doing such a thing past the point unless it's already included with the game. So, for example, if it's a game that requires you to sign online first and then go from there to be able to play the game, that's a whole nother thing. So then they can restrict the content that way. But with what they do beforehand, like PS2 games, once it's done, and they didn't implement the whole thing of having to do updates with it, there was no way they could prevent you from playing a used game. With the PS3, still pretty much going into that aspect, there's nothing they can do to prevent you from playing the newest PS3 game, unless they start including stuff with new games now, where there's something on the disc when the PS3 reads it that will tell the PS3 this code's already been used. But once again, it would have to go online to do that, so really there's no way to do that. With using a new system, though, they're going to be able to implement a whole new set of rules that then therefore the games can be conformed to that standard. So with something like this, they're saying that pretty much if you did buy a used game, it would be almost kind of like the way they have the online content now, where you would have to pay a certain fee in order to be able to access it. So pretty much just like the way they have DLC now. Curious to see what you guys think. I personally don't like this at all. I wouldn't call myself a fanboy. I mean, I really liked PlayStation. From the first one, I really liked it, but the second one is really what really sold me on it. Up until just recently, when they started doing things to the PlayStation 3 system where they started taking away and you were losing features, and it just felt like they were constantly taking. So I'm interested to see what you guys think of it. Past that point, they have it dated for 2013. Once again, not official, but this is what I'm getting from Kotaku, which I'll include the link so you guys can check that out as well. But that also pretty much bypasses the whole idea of the 10-year frame window. And the thing is with something like that is that really you don't need another system. This is the whole thing to make you buy a new one, to make you keep investing money into it so they can also control it more. Because technically all the games that you're playing where you think, oh, the system's pretty much at its limit, which some people do think, it's mainly because you're getting an Xbox 360 game ported over to the PS3. So to make it fully compatible, because they don't make their own version of a PS3 game and a 360 game. You just get the 360 port and the limits it can go to. So really, they haven't even touched the surface of this system and what it can do. With 8 processing cores, it's got a lot more to go. They've also given some information on the specs on what else might come with it. And they're looking at AMD processors, which is kind of interesting to see what kind of architecture they're going to use with that. Because to me right now it sounds like they're almost taking a step back, but we'll go from there and we'll see what it's going to do. And then they have AMD Southern Islands GPU, which apparently is the highest end graphics unit that they can have in there at this moment. But like I said, it's all speculation at this point, but more information is coming out. So like I said, I'll include a link, but let me know what you think. I'm just curious. Thanks.